Assalamu alaikum from the beautiful Cape Town. Welcome to this week's episode of An Nur the Light. Songs in praise of Allah are known as nasheeds, and South Africa has a long list of great artists. Following in the footsteps of her late father is Madeegah Ashrafi, whose nasheeds are becoming very popular in the local community. We got to spend some time with her.
Malikul mulk la sharika lahu.
The sounds of a beautiful nasheed are sure to tug on the heartstrings of those listening. It takes a special person to fill a crowd with emotion, and Madeegah Khan is one such being.
I've been singing since the age of 7. I was very mesmerized when my father used to sing, and seeing him singing and mesmerizing others, I also wanted to be like him. So when I wanted to do my first stage performance, I asked him permission. Because he used to mentor other reciters as well, I asked him if he could mentor me, or am I not allowed to be singing because I'm not a boy? And he says, no, you are allowed to. If you want to do it, you can go ahead and do it, and I will support you. And he gave me my first transcript of a poem to recite, and he trained me for that performance, and I gave my first on-stage performance when I was 7.
Madeegah has taken after her father and composes most of her own songs. Nasheeds are songs in praise of Allah, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and Islam. It is very popular amongst the local Muslim community and attracts big audiences.
Well, of course, my relationship with Madeegah Khan was way back, I think even before she was born. I had a very close relationship with her father, and her father, the late Maulana Khan, Allah bless him with paradise, Allah bless him with Jannah, is actually my mentor. He's actually the person that is responsible for me actually being a public speaker. I remember it was way back in 2000 when I gave my first public speech on stage. He was actually standing behind the curtain, so to speak, and telling me what to say. And from there, I have never looked back. His daughter has been doing a lot of community work, and she's actually walked in the footsteps of her father, keeping her father's legacy alive. That she's very active in our Montessori Wuttitots school that we have in our society at this moment in time. Her mother is the Wuttitots Montessori mistress, and Madeegah Khan has been doing a lot of voluntary work. So we're actually quite indebted to her. And of course, we will ever be indebted to her father and her family for the Islamic work that they have done.
My music, mostly classical, and they have like a touch of Sufism to it, which I have learned from my father, of course. His style was very much classical, so I adopted that style from him. My biggest inspiration is my parents. My father was obviously a popular singer and a writer, and after his passing on, it was my mother who continued with his work. She also writes and she herself sings, and because I see her doing it, I also want to do it. That's why I would like to be just like them and be a good singer, be a good composer, be a good writer one day.
When not busy with nasheeds, Madeegah can be found hosting weekly prayer gatherings. Women often gather and share some poetry or discuss important issues facing them.
I mentor a few people, and I never thought I was worthy to mentor anyone, but because people ask me for my help, I couldn't refuse them. So I mentor my friend whose name is Musarrat Osman Baks, and she's also a very good reciter. She's been reciting for many years, but she comes to me, she gives me that respect that she comes to me for help or for my judgment when she's going through something new.
Here is a woman who loves to serve and does so whenever she gets the opportunity. As she's fluent in Urdu, she has taken to teaching the language to young children at a local school.
The Montessori school was established at least about 4 years ago. The Wuttitots Montessori that we have at Buffelsdale is actually running with an Islamic ethos. We have a full number of 20 children that are well taken care of. And we don't only cater for Muslim children, there are non-Muslim children that are also being thought of course, with an Islamic ethos. Madeegah's involvement in all of this, alhamdulillah, she is actually a people's person, because lots of the children as well, although her mother is the Buddhi Tots Montessori mistress, when they see Madeegah Khan coming as well, it gives them another cause, as they call her Madeegah Appa. And they say Madeegah Appa is actually coming to school today and we want to go to school. And Madeegah has also been the brainchild behind many of the activities, like the pajama day that they had, the sleepover, and of course the Mother's Day, where the children actually gave their mothers a manicure and a pedicure. So she was instrumental in all of that. And alhamdulillah, inside the Montessori, if you have a look as well, she and her cousins actually took the time and the task to actually paint the walls right about till midnight at night. So she has played a pivotal role, alhamdulillah, without actually being afforded any gratuity, any money whatsoever. So it's a passion coming from the heart.
I first started doing the hijab drive when I was in university. I was part of the MSA, or Muslim Students Association, and they did it largely every year. And I thought that I'd contribute also, and I had family and friends from Tongat who donated a whole lot of stuff. And I was the person who brought in the most amount of donation for the hijab drive. And everyone was impressed with that, and that gave me a motivation that I can do this with the help of the people that I know, because I do know a lot of people. So ever since I finished university, I thought I'd do it on my own and collect stuff from the people that I know and distribute it to the people that I do know, because I also know a lot of disadvantaged people in and around the Tongat area. Shams tabriz gar khuda talabi, Shams tabriz gar khuda.
The rewards for serving Allah are plentiful, but it also helps when you love what you do. Many people still talk about the great person her dad was, but Madeegah is making a name for herself and ensuring the legacy of both her parents live on inside of her.
From Durban to Cape Town, and our Q&A segment with Maulana Zaheera Philander.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Maulana Zaheera Philander, and welcome to this edition of Q&A on An Nur the Light. Our first question was mailed to us, and the viewer would like to know, can a Muslim woman be the main breadwinner in a Muslim household? Depending on certain circumstances, we do find that Muslim women are the main breadwinners in the household, particularly in light of the current economic situation, whereby both the husband and the wife have to work in order to fulfill their financial obligations. It is important, though, for the husband to remember that in Islam, the financial responsibility resides with the man. So the maintenance and the upkeep of the household is the man's primary responsibility, and thus his wife would be doing him a favor in terms of her assistance in the household. Our next question was sent to us on Facebook, and this viewer asks, how does Islamic inheritance work? Who inherits from the father? Islamic inheritance is really a very complex issue, but the long and the short of it is that the Quran stipulates who the heirs are, and the Quran also stipulates the percentages that each heir will receive. So when a person dies, we would try and ascertain who the living heirs are. So if a man dies, he might be a father because he has children, but he might also be a husband because he has a wife. He might be a son because he has a mother and a father. He might be a brother because he has siblings. So all of this would be taken into consideration, and then the Quranic stipulations would be applied on the surviving heirs. Our last question is it permissible for Muslims to donate blood? Yes, it is permissible for Muslims to donate blood. In fact, one of the goals of the Sharia is the protection of life, and also to see to the needs of those who are marginalized and those who are vulnerable on the fringes of society. The sick, most definitely those who are in need of this life-giving blood, of the vulnerable in our society. So not only does Islam permit the giving of blood, Islam actually encourages Muslims to donate blood. That brings us to the end of this Q&A segment on An Nur. Keep well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
We rely on you to spread the word about our show. If you have any comments or feedback, please use our social media platforms to address this. Next up, a very exciting development is about to take place, which will provide much-needed jobs and revenue for South Africa.
Often perceived as glorified hobbies, small home businesses are fast becoming an economic force to be reckoned with. A homepreneur is an entrepreneur who creates and manages a work-from-home business. These home-owned businesses truly are starting to grow in South Africa. Sisters Ayesha and Zaheera have become homepreneurs in 1999 and own a children's clothing range that continues to grow exponentially.
Having moved from Durban to Pretoria with 2 little kids, I had to start a business here. My husband found work here. My sister Zaheera, always trying to cheer me up, and she's always been a great fan of my designs and always motivating me. And yeah, she saw a gap in the market and she actually encouraged me to start Fizz Kids.
I do the marketing and the business side. We started off the marketing with very little resources. And our first marketing strategy was just by word of mouth, telling friends, telling families about the Fizz Kids range. We were quite excited when we started this range. It was a fresh concept that we introduced into the market.
The secret to the success of these homepreneurs is their vision to empower other home-owned businesses. Their focus on supplying only home-based businesses is a strategy that only proves the strength and influence of homepreneurs around South Africa.
Well, having had a lot of help in starting this little home industry, we thought it was time to maybe give back. I had a lot of friends and family who loved what we were doing, and they were always so keen on it. So one day we just said, why don't, with this, home-based businesses, why don't we just ask these ladies if they, they'd be keen? And everyone was so keen, but a lot of them didn't have the capital to start a business. So Zaheera then secured a loan for us, and we made our first 200 pajamas, and we offered it to about 12 home-based agents at no cost at all. We paid for postage, everything, and we just said to them, run with this. We're trying to launch this brand into the market, and well, let's see how it goes. Up to today, there's some of our agents who refuse to buy stock from us because they say, for old time's sake, you just got to give it to us on consignment. And yeah, that's how we actually got into this home-based industry.
On the marketing side, there were a lot of strategies that we used. We went out to preschools where we ran competitions. And obviously the prices that we gave out were Fizz Kids pajamas, and it always brings a smile back to our face because that was a clever idea. Kids then went home and spoke about the range, and that's how they became aware that there's a pajama out there for them. I had calls from mums from the preschools as well, asking me for the pajamas, where to get them from. And it's always good to keep in touch with people, and that's what built our database.
With the advent of the internet, owning a home-based business is no longer dependent on flyers and postcards. Ayesha and Zaheera have recently taken their business online, and now their children's clothing range can be bought online through their new online store.
We've been involved with Fizz Kids for around 15 years, since they started when they approached us in 1999. What we did for them is we created a website that hosted all of their stock, their brands, the seasonal brands that they brought out and everything. Most of the time, people are too scared to go into a business because they have to have a warehouse or they have to hold stock, and the fear is it gets stolen and they lose a lot of money. Now, ImproWeb system works in such a way that you don't have to hold the stock and stuff like that. You will just ship it from the manufacturer itself directly to your end user or client.
What is going to happen is we're going to have a website where our agents can trade online using the FizzKids infrastructure without them keeping any stock. So obviously they would go online, purchase, we would get the order and package it from here and send it out. So it just saves a lot of time and money as well at the same time.
This home business has grown to a point where they must now outsource much of their labour. Many of their garments are now produced at a factory in Cape Town for distribution.
We would like to empower more women. We would like to see more women becoming agents. We would like to see agents across the country, even out of the country, if possible. We would like to see FizzKids become a household brand across the border.
Whilst the bustle of the corporate world continues and business booms, homepreneurs continue to contribute to the economy. Ayesha and Zaheera are true examples of business-minded individuals that started small and have used their success to further grow home industry in South Africa.
Our show has grown in leaps and bounds, but we are indebted to you, our loyal viewer, for making it a success. May Allah continue to bless each and every one of you and continue to shine His favor upon you. Time to see what's happening in our travel segment for this month.
Food remains one of humanity's essential needs, and knowing how to cook can be advantageous but also spiritually rewarding. Well-known celebrity chef Shanaz Parker has opened up a new venture, her cooking school. For those who are challenged or just looking to learn some new tricks, this is a definite must-do. Classes are held on a weekly basis and cost includes all ingredients used to create your perfect masterpiece. Shanaz provides hands-on training, leading the class with her trademark no-fuss style. As one of Muslim South Africa's foremost food authors and chefs, she's one person who knows her craft. Katura Coffee Bar in Sea Point is the perfect spot for a hearty, healthy lunch that is homemade with love and organic ingredients.
Katura Coffee Bar, it would get confusing. Katura Coffee Bar, apart from having amazing coffee, Katura Coffee Bar, we are serving amazing food. Our food is homemade and all sourced locally, and we pride ourselves on the fact that our food is fresh and going away from the norms of a typical coffee shop. We are serving quite a variety.
Breakfast at Katura are a sure hit with a large menu to choose from for the health conscious and those needing a big wholesome meal. Lunches range from burgers to pastas, salads and everything in between. Their speciality is their homemade lamb pasta with those with a taste for the finer things in life.
We're known for our homemade pasta, which we make in store daily. I'd say our most popular dish would be our pastas. Although we are known or getting known for or to be a breakfast venue, our pastas are homemade. So there's different elements to making a good pasta. We like to think we do it right. A lot of, like I say, local ingredients used in the pastas, and our pasta is only a tagliatelle. We only serve tagliatelle. Although with that, we've got quite a few options, changing up day to day. In our roast lamb pasta, we've got fresh flat leaf parsley, garlic, Kalamata olives, a touch of cream, and the roast lamb itself is the major contributing sort of factor to having a lovely roast lamb pasta.
Cape Town often boasts some of the most magnificent natural wonders, and Signal Hill presents yet another feast for the eyes. Signal Hill is the place from which the historic noon gun is fired, and its name comes from its original use of flying signal flags to communicate with nearby ships. Signal Hill also forms the lion's body as part of the adjacent mountain lion's head. The hill boasts some interesting hiking trails and breathtaking 360 views of Cape Town city and seaboard.
Shukran for joining us this week. It's almost time for us to go, and we'll be playing out with a beautiful nasheed. From me, Mara Mukwanda, Salang Hantle, Assalamu Alaikum.
You are the only one, the messenger. And when life gets hard, you know it can get hard sometimes. You are the only one I will follow till I die. Keep your sunnah inside my soul. Pray it stays with me till I get old. Though the times will keep on changing, hearts will still be craving peace inside their soul. So I will pray that Allah will keep me on the straight path, holding me close, I'll never stray back. Keeping him deep within my soul. Just wait for me to come home. Rasulullah, Habibullah, you are the way, the light we try to follow. You are the peace we need. Remember that with every hadith I read. You taught us our deeds are all we take with us when we die. I keep your sunnah inside my soul. Pray it stays with me till I get old. Though the times will keep on changing, hearts will still be craving peace inside